I'll be talking at about this level.
And I'll be talking about this level.
And I'll be talking about this level with a cold.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, do we have speed?
Yes, we do.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, good morning, Mr. Zanuck and Mr. Brown.
Good morning.
Good
Hi.
to see you both again. It seems like at least every few years we get to have a meeting like this. And I have to tell you just straight away that Target is one heck of a film, a real roller coaster ride, as they say in the trade. And it should do very, very well. Let me begin with you, Mr. Zanuck, and ask you, when you were putting this together, I tend to think of you gentlemen, you producers, as fellows who really know how to cover all your bases. And let me explain what I mean. In other words, it seems to me you get the star element, and you get action, and you get locations, and I don't want to say, do you have a formula? I don't want to ask that, but really, in your thinking, you do want to take all these elements into consideration, don't you?
Well, you do, of course. The main element is to get the story. If you get the right story, then you put everything comes naturally from that point on. But if you make a mistake in choosing the story, then no matter what star, what director, or where you shoot it, that mistake will probably hold through all the way to the end of the film. But with Target, we wanted to do a suspense picture, but we wanted to do a picture with relationships as well, and I think we've got that with Matt Dillon and Gene Hackman, and wonderful direction by Arthur Penn.
So you started with the story, and then you had these wonderful locations in it, one of which is Texas, of course. Was it the story with the Dallas reference already in it?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. We wanted a town, an American town, a thriving town, somewhere, a town large enough where Gene Hackman, I don't want to give away the story, could blend into the town as an everyday citizen, which we find out later he really isn't.
Yes. Mr. Brown, the Dallas location, now, you didn't get to stay there as long as you had planned, did you?
Well, the story, the movie does originate in Dallas, of course, but we couldn't stay there very long because, as you know, for the first time in how many years, there were 8 inches of snow when we arrived in Dallas, and of course all of our locations were based on an autumnal look, and we went out on the expressways, the freeways, and there was no way to shoot it. So we went to one of your neighboring cities, Corpus Christi, but we came back to the Dallas-Fort Worth airport. But let us say that it's Corpus Christi for Dallas, but there's no skyline, there are no identifying features, and we feel confident that it is Dallas, and it's intended to be Dallas, and of course it's Texas.
Yes, okay. Business this summer was off. I don't know, I've read so many different figures, I don't know, maybe you know, but I've read all the way from 12 to 20% from the previous year. Do you know really how, can you pinpoint it any closer than that?
I think it was about 14%. It's hard to tell. I think one of the reasons was that everybody made the same picture. We had, a lot of teenage pictures that were very similar, and I think that the market was just overflooded with that type of film.
I'll ask both of you to comment on this as long as we're with you, Mr. Zanuck. Let's go ahead. I'm wondering, everybody's talking about how cable is eroding films and how people staying at home watching the VCRs and all that, but of course we still have to make films to supply that. But are you concerned about theatrical release and making some money originally when you show films in the theater?
Well, I think everybody has to be concerned by all of the other forms of exhibition outside of theatrical. And it's true that people can stay at home and see practically the same films at the same time that they can see them in the theaters. But I do feel that good films will always draw crowds. There's something wonderful about going out to a movie, seeing a movie with a crowd of people. And as long as we keep making good films, I think the theatrical film exhibition will be fine.
And Mr. Zanuck, do you have anything to add to that as far as, what could exhibitors be doing or theater chains be doing do you feel, to make that experience more attractive to people?
Well, they are upgrading their theaters, and we are getting a return to the larger theater with the big screen. For many years now, we've had these postage stamp theaters, and some of the big theaters are coming back, and films are now being seen in their most favorable environment, the way they were intended to be projected, not on a screen the size of a large television screen.
Okay. Well, it's good to talk with both of you again, and congratulations on Target. I enjoyed it tremendously.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very much.
I hope it does well in the theaters.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
That was very nice.
Yeah, I'll let you all
Some
move
cutaways?
it.
All you have to do is just stand up.
I hope we see you more often than every few years. It takes that long. I think you'd be the card.
Is this a pretty good fix right about here?
Yes, that's fine.
It
Okay.
could well be. It's hard for me to believe that because they won 4 straight from the Dodgers after dropping the first 2. That means
Okay,
they'd have to
and
win
we
8
have
games in a
sound
row.
and speed and,
That is
okay. Yeah, I'm going to do sound as well. Of all the elements that go into making a successful picture, is there any one that you think has more of an edge or should have more of an edge? Was the script originally with Dallas in it? Mr. Brown, you had some difficulty with that Dallas location, didn't you? How concerned are you about the fact that business was off a good bit last summer? What would you like to see theater chains or exhibitors do to keep people coming into the theater? Target is, as they say in the business, a real roller coaster ride. Okay, now I'll just give you some reactions. That should do it. Thank you.
Fine.